Ba-dum bum bum bum. Slap back, chat frat. Slap back, chat frat. Slap back, Charlie frat. Slap back, Charlie frat. Slap back.
So, no, they're not. They have nothing to do with each other. That's disappointing because on the Google kind of autocomplete, it was like Little Aldi Brothers, and I was like, fucking knew it.
Yeah.
But loads of other people have just made that mistake and gone like, they're basically the same. Probably some brothers owned it at some point. Is it brothers?
Is it brothers?
Is it brothers?
Wasn't that the advert, the Kit Kat?
Oh, hold on. Why is it? Wait. No. Okay. Wait. Update. This just in.
Breaking news.
Audi was founded in 1946 by two brothers. That's what it was. No, it's true. Okay. In 1960, after a huge expansion, the company split in two, with each brother taking half. Carl took Audi and Theo took Audi Nord. And then the name Audi, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so it is true. Oh no, that's just Audi.
So
it's got nothing to do. It's got nothing to do with Lidl, but okay. Audi was owned by two brothers. Why aren't we recording this? This is gold.
You don't trust me. I said that to you. You don't trust me.
We're in.
So it's okay. Audi was owned by two brothers and now there's Audi and Audi Nord or something. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah. Good. Is that cleared up? Everyone
That's
up to date on that Audi knowledge?
I think we should be fed information like that.
Our
With everything.
warm-up. That's supposed to warm us up for comedy.
Could you read all of the Wikipedia pages, Joe?
Yeah. Should I just start from A and
that
just?
would be great.
This just in. Aardvarks facts.
No, wait.
Does anybody ever write anything on Wikipedia or make any edits or anything?
I've set up a page for you, and it is absolutely brutal.
It's just Dave, the reputation.
Yeah.
I was very pleased with that.
No, I've never tried to update Wikipedia. I haven't got the confidence. Takes balls to do that kind of move, I think.
Well, there's a page for Lower Tregantle, which is like a hamlet near where I grew up. So I grew up at Higher Tregantle Farm. Lower Tregantle's just down, kind of in the valley. And there's a little mention of Higher Tregantle Farmhouse. And I edited Wikipedia to say it has been home to the White family since 1990. And that was my one Wikipedia contribution. And I went on there the other day, and somebody had taken it off because it didn't have a source.
Yeah, they're brutal. You need to have, backed up information. Otherwise,
But who was looking at that and thinking, yes, this is what I need to do?
The Lower Tregantle admins.
Yeah.
There's admins for everything these days. Like, whoa, someone's updated the page first time in 20 years. Yeah.
Can you just use your nickname? The one that I just discovered. Just the source is the reputation.
Yeah.
I don't know
They would have understood.
if it's valid or viable in terms of sources. If I can be trusted.
This has been confirmed by Dave, the Reputation White.
Oh, okay.
And then obviously you'd have to hyperlink to your own page, which is just called the Reputation. Yeah.
Well, if somebody wrote it down and published it, has anybody got access to any kind of like newsletter? Joe, can you get something in like the University of Bristol newsletter, and then I can
consider it done. They're always looking for this kind of stuff.
They're going to be looking for content, aren't they, for an obscure West Country farm?
The whole of academia is really crying out for Lower Tregantle updates. So, well, actually, I mean, why are you asking me? Russ is the one who's a mover and shaker in the media biz.
I thought you were going to say in the world of Lower Tregantle.
I mean, well, that goes without saying, I would have thought. But
I'm more of a Quithic expert myself.
You could get Kirsty Allsop to drop a ref in one of her programs, can you, Russ? And
There's a Grand Designs, although I can't remember if there is one, or there's going to be one in Liscard very soon.
Oh.
Shut the front door, really?
Grand Designs for this guard,
That was my understanding of it anyway. But then when I looked closer at it, they were using Liscard as the only near town. Like the actual Grand Design is 15 miles away, somewhere nice. But Liscard is the broad orbit.
That's all we can hope for in Liscard, isn't it? That's the best we've got.
Lip smacking Liscard. I mean, Mary Porter's got involved, didn't she?
How did your best man speech go, Russ?
Yeah, that's as much as I've got so far. I haven't done any more than that.
No.
I thought I'd start with the good stuff, the Liscard stuff, and then work my way back.
Oh, maybe that's a good topic to talk about today. Best man speeches. That's always
Okay, yeah. So, save the gold. Hold the gold.
Oh yeah, it's all lock and loaded. I'm not. I'm cocked.
Should we start? I just started recording ages ago, and that's what I've just done for Slapback recently. Is just start when we just get together, and that's just start.
You what?
That's how I roll. I've been making Slapback episodes without you guys for years. That's just been.
Mate,
I've just been recording your webcams.
My energy level is here for you guys, but I raise it for the
roof.
Raise it for the viewers / viewer.
Okay. Well,
by the way, Christian, in case you were in any doubt,
this is it.
Beth is the only person who Dan's girlfriend. Beth is the only person who has who watches it, isn't it? So we are really
just to put it clear, she is the only person.
She's the only person. But what is beautiful is when I saw Dan recently, and we were talking about Slapback, and Beth referenced a deep cut from an episode about 15 episodes ago, and I was like, wow, he really does make you watch them all.
That was the contract. That was the relationship contract. I was like, anything I do or create, you have to.
It was all worth it. It's all been worth it for that. She referenced Senor Ratto, was it?
Yeah.
Senor Ratto.
Senor Ratto, yeah.
I've seen a few of them. Dan's kind of sent me a couple. I watched the one with Champ and Fresh Prince 2.
Yeah.
Reputation. And then probably one from a while ago with maybe Wombat was in it, or
that's the very
Rog,
first one. Yeah.
Whatever you guys call him.
It's he's the man of 1,000 names that blow on the wind, depending on who he's talking to. But yeah, that's the interesting thing about Slapback is you can now go back to the start and just see our slow kind of degradation.
Yeah. But no, I'm with Joe. Dan, you need to do the proper intro. You can't just slip us in like this, because as you know, those levels have got to peak up.
You're going to see the difference. You're going to see me take it from here to here.
Like a switch.
Just watch for it's like Des O'Connor. Des O'Connor would be backstage, slumped over, not talking to anyone, surly. As soon as the camera was on, bam, the guy lit up. Absolute showtime. And people have often said that about me.
We're kind of the Des O'Connor of the podcast world, aren't we?
What, dead?
So. Yeah, dead, irrelevant.
Unsuccessful.
I'm not. I don't feel good about that. Des O'Connor is not irrelevant, but
He was well old, wasn't he?
He lived a long, full life.
He did. Yeah.
Good on him.
I always used to confuse Des O'Connor and Bob Monkhouse, but I think Bob Monkhouse was. I've got a lot of time for Bob Monkhouse.
He was quite. He did kind of stand up, which was quite blue, quite good stand up, because everybody remembered him. Well, most people remember him for his game shows that he used to host. But he did a bit of stand up near to the end, and it was pretty good actually.
He was good. He had a joke book, which he wrote Yeah. He had a giant collection of all of his jokes ever that got stolen at some point.
Oh,
But,
imagine the treasure trove that was.
Yeah, I got a lot of time for. I got a
Difficult
lot
thing
of
to
time for
steal
Monk House.
because if the book like fell open, you just saw an absolute brilliant joke.
Thieves were apprehended because they kept kind of like lightly chuckling. But Monkhouse wasn't a kind of rolling around on the floor. Yeah, but you'd lightly chuckle.
You'd raise an eyebrow. You just look at it.
Yeah, thieves were apprehended because they kept having to stop to go.
All right, shall I fire us in?
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to
See the
Slapback
magic.
Chat. Oh, Christian's already.
Oh, this is guy.
Get up! Jesus.
Whoa, who's this guy?
Okay, yeah, you get the idea.
See? That was the Record Breakers theme music.
I don't know, it's the first thing that came into my head.
That was Grandstand.
Grandstand, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that Grandstand.
With a big drum, yeah. Boom.
Yeah, that's like, how do you think they did that? Was that like tightening the drum?
Boom.
The drum.
You can have drums that you like, that you do something with, and you can like squeeze them. Boom.
Okay.
Welcome
to Frat.
Boom. Like a djembe or something. You put it between your legs and you play it and you like and squeeze it. Boom.
Oh.
They use that before. Doesn't.
How'd you do it?
We started.
Boom.
We started.
Oh, we started big time.
You started?
We
started ages
right.
ago. We've been going for 11 minutes.
Do the formal introductions. I can't
Right, so
get any higher than this without formal introductions.
You do a count in?
I don't know who everyone is.
Go to the. I've got out of practice because I've been sending it to Ollie. Can someone else do it? Russ, could you take over as the starter?
No, but Dave will do it.
Dave will do it.
I like that. No, but Dave will do it. Can you do it? No, I can't. But
I wouldn't have thought
Dave
so, but I know Dave, and he.
I've seen Dave's skill set. He can
All right.
do it. I can't do it, but
I'll
Dave
tell you what I can do.
Dave, you are a mid-morning TV presenter trapped in a surveyor's body. Let it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Slapback Chat Frats with me and Christian Yabsley. Hello, Christian Yabsley. How are you?
Woo!
I put you first on the roster because you are our guest star at huge expense. We've blown the budget for the season just to get you in, so we expect results. Okay, else we're not paying you. Mr. Russell Garnett, live from... Where are you live from?
Essex.
Essex.
Yeah, nice geezer. Mr. Joe Butterball, how are you?
Yeah, good. Yeah, fine.
Yeah. really lifted that level.
The thing is, I'd already spent. Yeah, what the viewers don't know is I'd come in too high earlier on.
So
I'm on the way out now, so just let's crack on. Let's get going.
And last and possibly least, Mr. Daniel Reid.
Mange tout.
Mange tout. That's a very Del Boy thing to say. So we were having a quick chat about things that we might possibly discuss today. Hot topics, hot potatoes, that kind of thing. And Russ, you are going to be doing a best man speech.
Yes, I am.
Talk us through ideas, what your vibe is, concept.
Are you mentally preparing? What's your regime?
Have you got a mood board for
Yes.
how you're approaching the speech, that kind of
I
thing?
think with any best man speech, you always open with the same line. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. And the line is this. Now, this guy, X, met the love of his life 22 years ago at school. They've been close forever since. The beautiful, the wonderful, the handsome me. Am I right?
It's definitely raised an eyebrow.
Are they getting the joke book? No, I think I mean, I'll defer to the people who've given the speeches previously.
I've done a best man speech.
Hi.
Yes, I.
Okay.
Oh,
me know.
that's hurting, isn't it? That hurts.
I was only best man to my brother. That doesn't really count. So.
I mean, that's obligatory. He didn't really have any choice, but he had to.
Not really. No, I begged him for a start.
What, to be best man?
Yeah. I threatened his actual best man. I begged him. I threatened to do horrible things to his wife to be. But I mean, basically, it was just like, do it and get out of my life kind of thing. But still, best man.
Put that on your CV.
Yeah.
So I think you do need a theme. I think you're very right to raise that. You need something to touch on, keep going back to, whatever that might be, some quirk or character.
Comedy callback.
Exactly.
It's going to be you, isn't it?
First rule of comedy: call back, even if it's not the person, anything to do with the person. Oh, remember that banana I ate yesterday? Set it up at the beginning.
Yeah.
I ate banana yesterday. Midway through, you go, ooh.
I wouldn't mind a banana.
Mind a banana. And the crowd go, banana.
Oh, he said banana again. What you want to do is you want to engineer a really clunky catchphrase really early on. Kind of bad sitcoms have a kind of like, oh, shut that door, or something like that. Yeah, have a banana, or
I'm going to have to split.
Yeah.
And then you slip on the banana skin that you've put next to you, whoosh, and that's your finale. Drum roll.
You have some.
That's a funny drum roll.
Yeah.
It's like a trombone.
It's all like grandstand drum rolls. So that's what you need. You need big intro, get the crowd in, big gag to start with, self-deprecating, obviously. The key theme, banana, whatever it might be, and some sort of finale move, whether that be a slip, a trip, or a somersault, something that just tells them that you've thought more than just a speech. You're thinking physical comedy.
Physical comedy, yeah.
You're a triple threat. And if you can do a song in the middle, even just a hit,
Can I give you a little bit of advice? Tight a touch.
Go on. I'm speaking from somebody who hasn't done this, but
Just
tell me. You tell me.
Little sniff of advice. Okay, so when you say song, all right, song's not necessarily. I'm not necessarily against a song, but from experience, I've seen a best man speech which incorporated a song.
Really?
And there was a couple of learning points that you can take away from that, of things to just kind of little road bumps that you don't have to go over. So
Was it too short or too quiet? Because I can really go loud and burst out Bohemian Rhapsody. 6 minutes.
I would go something more like Fade Out Street Spirit Radiohead. Just out of nowhere, just quietly, okay. Rosa Bells. No, so what happened in this
make eye contact with the bride the whole time.
Yeah, and only the bride.
What happened in this best man speech, which I would say wasn't a great plan, was the best man. The best man said to everyone before, I'm going to sing. I'm going to work a song into the best man speech, and then everyone join in on the chorus.
Yes.
So like all of the men who were there. I don't know why women weren't included in this, but anyway, all of the men were like, when it got to the chorus, all of a sudden, everyone would stand up. All of the men, only men, and would join in. And the thought being like, you've seen these viral videos, these TikTok memes.
Was it the Crash Test Dummies? Was it that song?
No, it was Afternoon Delight. The song about making love in the afternoon.
Yes.
So anyway, the segue into that was needed needed a little bit of finessing because so the song, he was most famous from Anchorman. That's quite, it's quite funny and that song. And so he said something like, "Oh, you want to keep your relationship hot and heavy, and maybe, think about making love in the afternoon." And then he just started singing. But obviously, at that point, people were like, like what? that sounds that sounds a bit inappropriate. The big problem was that it was a cappella, and it takes a very long time before the chorus kicks in. So there was a huge amount of time where everyone was just like, "Oh, what's this guy's having a breakdown?" He just just by himself, just go, There's a really long kind of really long verse, and it was excruciating because it just you want if you're going to do a song and you want people to join in, either you want to make it short if you're doing it by yourself, or you want to get to the chorus and get everyone joining in quickly, because otherwise everyone's just like, what
is going on?
What's going on? Why is this happening? How does this relate to anything? And also, not everyone knows that the song is about afternoon lovemaking, and even if they do, it's like, why are you doing this?
Why are you doing this to me?
It was one of those that's a lot funnier on Anchorman than it might be at a wedding reception. But I understand a lot of confused old people as well.
Yeah. And I heard a story of a best man speech where if you're going to do visual props, make them very clear. So there was the story of this guy who the joke was going to be, I'm not saying I'm nervous, but I've just been to the toilet and this came out, and he was going to pull out a brick, and the joke is that I've been shitting bricks. But he didn't bring a brick with him, so he was kind of scouting around for a brick on the day of the wedding, and the one he could find was like covered in moss and kind of like a bit eroded, so it wasn't obviously a brick. It was so the joke was like, "Oh, I'm not saying I'm nervous, but I've just been to the toilet and I've done this," and it just, to all and sundry, just looks like he's pulled out a big load of shit, a big giant log. So that's
my understanding is that anything you try and do that isn't related to the person, the day, the thing that's happening, like you trying to be a stand-up comedian, is going to fall very badly. It's not going to do well at all.
No.
So things like that, stock stuff, like shitting a brick or maybe a song that's not fully pertinent.
Yes.
I can see how that might fail, whereas something that is connected to the day and to the people around might be more successful.
Well, what's the best man speech any of you have ever seen, and what made it good?
Probably mine.
Yeah, if I had to,
I'd imagine Christian's going to say Christian and Dave
best,
mine, so
the best.
Probably mine.
Yeah.
I'd imagine it was mine.
Christian and Dave
scared.
now.
I was so
Christian
scared.
and Dave very quiet at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, they don't need to say anything. That's how we just, it's an unspoken...
This is how I was when I saw Dan do his speech.
Yeah, speechless. Absolutely. Good.
Wow.
Just silent, just taking it in.
Who is this guy?
I was shitting my pants. I got so drunk. This lady kept on passing me, and I was like, an hour till this speech. 45 minutes, and each time she passed me, I was just grabbing champagne. I have very low tolerance to alcohol, and by the time it came to do the speech, I was just, very drunk and very scared.
What year was this?
2013?
Yeah.
Something like that, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do you recollect it? What were the key moments?
I recollect it like, imagine when a child goes to do show and tell.
Yes.
And they hold the bit of paper and they very, very scaredly read very quickly. I was just like, bah, 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 bah. I just read it quickly and sweated a lot.
Did a good job.
I did a job.
Yeah, you did.
The thing is, like, no one, I don't think people remember the really good, like, if the speech is good, it'll just pass in a, or even adequate. It'll just pass. People will be like, exactly as you said, Christian, like, you did the job, tick, that was good enough. You've passed, and it passes without event. People only really remember the ones that tank the wedding, or like
they just tank the whole wedding.
Dave,
how many?
Sorry,
Sorry,
go on,
Chris.
Dan. No, I was going to say, weren't you like part of a trio of best men for Jake Thompson's?
No, Jake Thompson's was just the two of us. For Rich's, there was four of us. Although I did the speech alone, we kind of took a different role each. I was going to ask, are you sole best man, or are you sharing honour with others?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Sole best man, yes, only one. But it's not a big wedding. I think there's only.
It's left us on a.
How big is it?
Cliffhanger.
How big is it? Come on.
Finish the story.
Oh, I was gonna, because as. You're back. You're back, Russ. You left us on a cliffhanger.
I lost you.
How many people?
30 or something, isn't it?
Gone again.
Oh my god.
Gone. Because I was a co-best man, and then I was a quad best man, and I remember the groom asking me, does it devalue the honor of being a best man, because I have three other best men. And
you said yes, right?
I said yes, massively. I said I may as well just, what the fuck is this really? Like, I'm like, absolutely pointless. So yeah,
I will be trying exactly 1/3 as hard as I would have done.
Yeah, and that's what they got.
You're getting me on 33.33%, and not a smidgen more. How did you approach your speech, Dave? What were the, were you pleased? Did you get some laughs?
I was pleased, actually. Rich's went pretty well, because I just used a load of photos, which fortunately there are so many stupid, hilarious pictures of Rich. I also got a load from his mum as well. So I kind of did a speech which was illustrated and punchlined with pictures of Rich, and it went pretty well. I had to be. This is another thing you need to think about, Russ, is how blue to go, how risque to be. Rich is.
If in doubt, go bluer.
Yeah, go.
Kids won't understand.
No one. Yeah, if you're a little bit blue, people will be like, that was a bit off color. But if you go so far the other, far into blue, they'll be like,
every other
wow.
word, like cunt, basically. That's the way.
I think that guy was spicy.
A good way to break the ice is with the C-bomb, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Afternoon, you lovely set of cunts.
It certainly assures that people will.
Just his mum and his nan.
Or just point to everyone and say, like, I'm gonna go around to each one of you. I've split you into cunts and dicks. You're a cunt. You're a dick. You're a cunt. You're a cunt. Dick, cunt, dick, cunt, dick.
That's my nan. She's a double
title right there.
Or just the one, the bride. I'm so happy you married this.
Yeah.
Sammy would love it.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
When you said, Russ, about making it the stories personal to the people, that is very good. But I want to report another best man speech that I heard from at the same wedding I was at, where the best man was singing. Mm-hmm. We were talking about best man speeches in like the bar, like the day before or something like that. Yeah. And one of the women there said that the best man at her wedding, as in her husband's best man, mm-hmm. They no longer speak to anymore because of the speech.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Tell me
See,
more.
I was going to ask, the question I was going to ask was, has any best man ever done a speech so good that the wedding
was forgotten.
Like, this is amazing. Stop the wedding.
Stop the wedding. She's like, it's the wedding's off. I'm marrying this guy.
Well, in this speech, what he did was he just it sounds like he just really misjudged it. So it's he went blue, but he went insulting. To the bride. So he started to. He pointed out like all of the people present, like the groom wasn't the first one of that friendship group that the bride had slept with.
Nice.
In fact, so I think she'd kind of dated or slept with quite a lot of the kind of friendship group, and then she'd met the groom, and they'd kind of fallen in love, and that was that. But the best man kind of made a virtue of that history and was like, so she's been through him, like, I just really leaned into that kind of her sexual history, and that. So I mean, he might have read on the internet like, make the stories personal, keep it,
That's
recall some kind of events in some shared funny stories, that kind of thing. You might have thought, this is all gold. I've got it. I don't need to do any work.
This is going to be brilliant. Everyone's going to be loving this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, lots of lessons to be learned.
How big is the wedding? Russ?
The wedding is 60 people, so it's quite small. I don't know if that makes a difference, really. 60, 600?
I just wanted to know, because we've been...
Yeah, we've been on tenterhooks.
Yeah.
We went off, that was like 5 minutes ago. Yeah.
No, it's a good point.
I need closure.
I mean, I wonder if it makes a difference in terms of reaction. I suppose you get a bigger reaction. The stakes are higher. You could get a bigger reaction with more people, but it's a bigger failure if it doesn't go down well, right?
Yeah.
I think 60, because 60 is quite small, I think you need to build... You've got more work to build an atmosphere. So if I was going to give any advice, you need to do some crowd work.
Yeah.
A bit of what do you do?
What's your job?
What's your job?
Builder.
Anyone in from Cornwall?
And obviously the stakes are high at that point. It's quite a lot of pressure to think up something funny to say about each different profession.
Yeah.
So just fall back on the whatever they say. You got your stock response. Like, what do you do? Builder. That's a job for cunts. Move on. What do you do? Hairdresser. That's a job for cunts. Come on, and then you've got your catchphrase.
Yeah.
Everyone say it with me. That's a job for
Everyone say it with me. Come on, what's the matter with you?
Well, no, isn't the trick? You don't hear them. You pretend not to hear them. You say, "What's your job?" And they say, "Chartered surveyor." And you just go, "What? Hairdresser? There's a job for cunts." So you don't even.
This could tour. This could be on our tour, couldn't it? This could be part of our tour. We could have a rusty.
I hear that crowd work you're doing. They'll just hear what's from you.
Yeah, you've got the mic.
You've got the power. I also quite like the rhetorical device before I start. So you do a bit of material. You're like, yeah, before I start.
Yeah.
And then you keep on going. Before I start, now I'm going to get to it soon. And then you just keep doing that, and you never get to it. People like a sense of anticipation, I think.
Nice. Yeah, I'm going to start the best man speech in a minute, but I just want to let you all know. Blah blah blah.
A few fire safety issues.
The exits are here and here.
That's it. And if people think it's a joke, just kind of say there's nothing funny about burning to death.
Like this speech, there's nothing funny about fire safety.
So, Joe, you put on our chat as topics for discussion odd things you believed for too long. Did you have anything in mind? I sat thinking about that, and I was like, wonder what I believed for too long.
I didn't actually think of anything myself, but no, I have just thought something. I believed for too long that I could fly, but the kicker was that I used to have dreams where I would levitate flying,
Yeah.
and I would, in the dream, it wouldn't come easily. I would have to like really concentrate and then just kind of go a couple of it, So there was a kind of a level of like realism built into the dream where like sometimes it would work better than others, and if I didn't concentrate, I would come down, and it was always just in my back garden. So for ages, I don't know until what age, maybe, I don't know, 7 or something like that, but old enough to like know that, yeah, you definitely can't fly. I kind of just thought, I just can't do it all the time. I just have to really, it's just one of those like mercurial things that I just have to really, if I really concentrate on, obviously I'm not going to do it now, but if I wanted to, if I had a bit of time and space,
I really want.
if I really wanted to, I could do, because the dreams were always very realistic but very mundane. It was just like I'm in my back garden at home, you know, I'm just sitting on the grass and like thinking, and then a little bit up, and then lose concentration and come back down again. So I believed for quite a long time that I could fly, and my parents, when I was down there recently, said that I tried jumping out my window, which and then they found me hanging out the window, because I guess that was when I stopped believing I could fly, because I thought like if I nothing hits you like the cold, you know, like the hard reality of hanging off a window ledge going, nah, it's just not.
I can't fly.
Yeah, that was my odd thing that I believed for too long.
I remember breaking into your house, climbing in your window. That was quite good. Or climbing in Tom's window. Did I climb in Tom's window?
Yeah, but I was sleeping in there.
Yeah. Why were you sleeping in there?
I don't know. I just like to smell him while he was gone.
I mean, you guys have always been very close. It's nice.
Yeah. It was very much a kind of Joey and Dawson situation where Dan would just climb in through my window, blasting Sarah McLachlan, and just talk exclusively in 5-syllable words and stroke my face.
Look lovingly.
Yeah. The galling thing about that was you then let everyone else into my house, but I wasn't awake, so I didn't even come to the party. You just came in through my window.
I was like, what was it about breaking into people's houses that you knew? What was that? For a moment, there was a period of time where like we broke into Studley's house. Do you remember breaking into Studley's house?
I didn't break into Studley's house.
Was I just part of this?
Just for the
When you say for a moment in time, there was a moment in time where you broke into everyone's house. Do you remember when we all did that? Yeah, no. Do you remember when everyone did that thing that we all did? I think that there was a bit of a kind of assumption that, you know, the age when you're old enough to kind of go and do fun stuff, but like you haven't got your own place. Yeah. So whenever anyone had a free house, it was just like,
game.
That's ours now.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I remember breaking into Studley's house with someone, like Ben, maybe. I don't remember going to Studley's house, breaking in through a tiny window. We talked about breaking into Joe Warren's house. Were you part of that conversation, Christian?
I broke into Tim's house.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what that was about. Just knock knock, here we come.
Oh no, I went in through Tim's window.
Yeah. Up on the wall.
And I similar kind of situation was just hanging off the windowsill.
Yeah, because it wasn't straightforward, was it? There was quite a bit from the wall to the window. It was about several feet, wasn't it? So you had to make the commitment.
Because I was convinced that he was in, and didn't have the strength. I was just with Tony actually. I didn't have the strength to pull myself up, so I jumped down, landed on a bin, and I didn't want to go over the wall. Can you remember the wall? It's quite difficult to go over back into the alleyway, so I went in the back door and went upstairs into his bedroom. He wasn't there. Checked Joe's room. He wasn't there. So I went out the front and I saw his mum and dad watching TV in the living room.
Did they see you?
No, I think they're just like playing innocent, because like the door was ajar and I could see the side of his mum's face watching TV, and she was like fixated on the TV. I'm sure she was like just like pretending that, you know.
Yeah, because
she didn't know there's a random person in the house.
You don't want to make eye contact with a burglar, essentially. So, fixated on the TV in terror. Don't look at him.
Frozen to the spot.
There's another time it's Dan Jordan's. Do you remember Dan Jordan, the German guy? He we knew where he went away on holiday, and his dad was working in London a lot, and he left his key, I don't know, like under the doormat or under a pot plant or something. And we went there and just partied while he was away. And I was probably about 15 at the time, and I did like the deodorant with a lighter trick.
Classic.
And I torched one of his big like dome paper lights, and
Wow.
that was quite bad. And being young and a bit foolish, I just kind of just chucked it away and pretended like nothing happened. And, yeah.
Why was that the answer?
Were you trying to send a message?
I was going to ask if at any of these, break-ins, there was ever any, you managed to like leave no trace, but obviously not if you've torched something.
All that's left is just the light bulb hanging from the ceiling. Yeah.
Didn't we used to have a?
So they would just come back and go, huh? It's quite subtle as well, isn't it? It's just like that's a real head fuck. It's like, why? How? Where would that have gone? Like when Ben Nash's dad went away, I remember Ed James. I think it was Ed James and Ben Ponytail Boy Ben Robinson broke into his house, and they just like everyone was doing it. Like it just smoked loads of pot. But I think they did like the amazing. Like the perfect storm of like terrible decisions of like leaving out. They'd bought a load of pot and then they were splitting it, so they were weighing it and splitting it, and then they left the scales and the drugs and the bongs in the house, but then they locked themselves out of the house in such a way.
So brilliant.
In such a way that they couldn't get back in again. So Ben was also away, so they then had to say to Ben like, okay, by the way, we've broken into your house. He was like, well, that's not cool. Additionally, there is like all of the incriminating evidence just like on the living room table where we've been smoking drugs. That was
such a weird thing to do, isn't it? Such a weird thing, like at that age. Why was that all right? I don't know why that was okay.
I broke into Nick Lavendale's house now that I mention this. It was like a Saturday, and we'd all been drinking there, I think, and then gone out to the Carlton. And I think Rob and I got bored, and often there would be after parties at Nick's house, and it'd be like, right, let's go back now, go have more drink and listen to loud music. And this time we got there, and there was no after party. We were like knocking on the door, and nobody was in. I think his parents must have been away. And so then I scaled the front of the house and got in through that window in the middle, the two large windows to the right and left.
Wow.
well, facing a busy street as well.
Yeah. Scaled the house. In fact, this may have been at the time when the downstairs, it was, because when the downstairs hadn't been built yet, the kitchen was still upstairs. I don't know if you remember that time. Scaled the house. Got into the kitchen upstairs, and then we proceeded to make ourselves cocktails using Nick's drink and just get drunk. I think he came back. I think he wasn't too happy about it, but I don't think he was too mad about it either. I think he was just like, "Oh, all right, whatever. You've got in."
Talking of forced parties, we used to. I think Pro Christian will remember this. We used to arrange parties at Dan Onion's house. Without really notifying Dan, just a bunch of us turn up at his place in this beautiful barn conversion, and had some great parties. I remember playing. This huge it was an upside down house, the bedrooms downstairs, lounge upstairs, and this huge kind of like. The roof section of the barn was massive, and I can remember us playing a full game of five-a-side football in his lounge. Oh, yeah. But it wasn't a break-in so much, but it was one of my proudest, smartest moments, because there was a load of us and obviously limited places to sleep, and at a house party in the middle of nowhere, the goal is to get your own bed.
Oh.
And I figured out that it came to this idea where I went into a room that I wanted to sleep in, which was downstairs, and then locked the door inside, went out the window, and came back into the party and just left it there. So I knew that
Genius.
Later on, I would have a bed. Kept it warm for the whole night.
Wow.
Because without that sort of preparation, you could very easily end up sleeping on the floor in one of those environments, couldn't you?
Oh, always the way. Yeah, I never had that kind of foresight.
Good question. Where's the most random place that you've slept at a house party?
I don't know about a house party, but there was a party that we went to in London, Russ, where I ended up sleeping outside under a bench in London on the street. Yeah. And I don't remember why, but I was only reminded of this when Facebook kind of popped up with a memory from like 12 years ago, where my Facebook status was like, I just slept under a bench in London, and like it was horrible.
Were you a hobo?
Yeah. And then, there was a bunch of comments where I was talking about it, and I was like, oh, yeah, I did do that. Why? And I can't, it's not a good anecdote because I have no details.
Was it the party where we went to one side of London and it took us hours to get to the other side of London? Then we found Ollie was in a park. Ollie was sleeping in a park. I don't know if you were there as well.
Yeah, that sounds familiar, yeah.
I think
But was that where we had to walk from one side of London to the other, following Dick's kind of very basic sat nav, from two.
It was like a phone in 2008, and it did not have, or 2009 it would have been, and it did not have the capacity to actually guide us from one side of London to the other. So we got about 3 buses. We were in East London at one point looking for Banksy's, and we've gone from southeast London to northwest, I think, the northeast or northwest we were trying to get to, and the route we took was so ridiculous. I mean, one point we were near the House of Parliament for absolutely no reason whatsoever.
Well, we literally arrived kind of mid-morning to your flat.
We left the party, I'd say, at 2 a.m. and I think we got back to my house at maybe 8 or 9 a.m. Like 6 hours of travelling across London with no idea where we were going, in increasingly broad daylight. And then somehow when we got back, Ollie was asleep in the park outside my house. I don't know how he got there.
It's always that he's like a homing pigeon. He just
Yeah.
And I don't know if you were involved in that too, or maybe it was another night. But yeah, that was tough.
I was there then. Yeah. I mean, it's a shame Ollie isn't here really, because he's got a story for if you ever want stories of like a man who has slept rough for reasons that could have well been avoided. Ollie's your man.
You asked the question. Have you got like a random place, Dave?
A party in France. I ended up sleeping on the stairs.
Ooh.
Which.
How did across or up?
Yeah, no, up several stairs. Don't know. You would have thought that I could have found anywhere more comfortable than that.
Was there no floor space left? Was it?
I don't know. I think I really can't remember why that happened. And they weren't even carpeted. They were wooden stairs.
Oh. And you slept though. You did actually sleep.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, got some sleep. Yeah. I remember having a party and finding someone asleep in my bath. That was
nice.
quite a good one. But yeah, Dan, have you got any?
I don't think I ever. I can't think of any time I've ever slept anywhere other than somewhere nice. I just.
I thought you were going to say I've never slept at a party. I'm just.
I slept at your house, Dave, on the with my head in the bath in the toilet area and my legs hanging out. Remember your house? And when I was so ill, and I had to sleep, I had to sleep on the cold floor to stop the sick. That was probably the worst I've done. That's probably the worst. Sleeping in the bathroom to be close to the toilet so I could chunder into the toilet several times. That was when we all got together and decided that we were 35, but we thought we were 18 again, and every one of us made ourselves really ill.
What was particularly galling was there was a big load of WhatsApp threads of lads, out on the town. We're going to do it. You know, let's go hard. We were home by 9 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah.
And about 4 out of 5 people had chundered really hard.
Yeah, we were not up to our own high expectations.
I remember I woke up in a hallway once. It didn't seem unusual at the time, but my head was on the doormat, and I slept on the bristly doormat. I think maybe when I was like falling asleep in that moment, I thought, that's like a pillow, isn't it?
Yeah.
Raised.
Rectangular.
Fine.
Yeah. Similarly, I remember somebody sleeping.
That's
on a
actually
pool
quite
table.
comforting on my face. That scratching feeling. I'm alive. I don't mind this. Yeah, that was an unpleasant waking in the morning.
What about you, Christian? Have you ever done much like off-road sleeping?
I rack my brain. I can't think of anything too crazy.
Wild sleeping.
Yeah.
Slept on quite a few beaches and dunes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people are very much like where my head lay, I'm asleep. I am not. I have to be in the right zone, the right circumstances. Like we made our graves, didn't we? We made our beach graves, Christian. That was probably about as exciting as I could think of. Beach grave.
Yeah.
You dug into the sand and slept.
Yeah.
It's quite good. No risk of it caving in.
Well, we were, I don't know, about a foot deep, maybe 2 feet deep, foot deep. Yeah.
What does what does that offer you? That sleeping on top of the sand.
I don't know. I'm not sure. It felt like the right thing.
Prudence idea.
Yeah. Like getting a grave.
How wet was the sand? Was it moist, or was it like?
When you get down to there's a layer, isn't there? There's a layer of crun. You reach crun, and then it's like it'll sort of hold. It's a bit firmer.
Yeah, and a bit wetter.
Crucially. Yeah. Lovely wet crun.
I can imagine it being quite comfortable if you sculpted the sand to the contour.
Ergonomic.
Oh, it's lovely. It's so ergonomic. So comfortable.
Going back. Oh, sorry. Go on.
Go on, Christian. Go on.
No, go for it.
I was just going to say, I remember one time me and you sleeping in my tent upon that hillside, and I had the tent with no roof, and I had to sleep, and I had no sleeping bag, and I slept in my coat with my feet in my legs in the arms of my coat. I don't know why I felt like that was the best. I felt like that was warmer to wear the coat upside down, legs in the arms. Yeah.
I remember I had one of the worst nights of sleep ever in Tim Prudent's older brother's flat in Bristol. Can't remember which brother it was. Henry, maybe? Yeah. Ollie's. Was it Ollie? Yeah. And we'd seen a gig in Bristol at the Anson Rooms, and we'd gone back, and I hadn't brought a sleeping bag or anything. No. I just had like a jacket coat that I was wearing, and I thought if I take the jacket coat off, put it around backwards, and then sort of use it as a cover with one of the arms as a pillow, that would be nice. But it was just like not quite big enough to do the job. And so the whole night on a hard wood floor, just feeling my pelvis and elbows and trying to sleep on a jacket. And then at 9 a.m. I had to get up and go to do a shift at Summerfield and get the train back from Bristol. It was just an horrific experience.
Were you there with Rob by any chance?
Yes, I was, yeah.
Was that where he took mushrooms and went a bit nuts?
I don't think so. He might have done. We'd seen Ben Folds 5 actually that night. So it was 1999.
Oh, nice. I just remember him coming back from a trip to Prudence Brother, seeing a gig, and it was the first time he had taken mushrooms, and possibly the first time any of us had. I'm not sure, but it was it was novel enough that we were all like, wow. Gather round, children. I'm gonna.
Yeah. What was it like? What did you see?
And he was like, it was awful. He was said he was kind of freaking out, I think. And
because I wouldn't be surprised if I left that morning and then for breakfast they all had mushrooms or something. That wouldn't shock me for that to have occurred.
But you had a shift at Summerfield.
A shift pushing those trolleys, and ain't no man going to wait for that. So I had to get on that train.
Right. When you worked at Summerfield, did you do trolleys in the lift?
I actually didn't. Trolleys was not my main occupation there. I was produce. Right. Trolleys form part of the list of tasks within produce, but my main job was replenishing the shelves and ensuring that the products were faced to the front.
Ross, can I shock you?
Please do.
That was my exact job as well. I was on produce in Summerfield.
Well, my job was trolleys at Summerfield and also Frozen. How did we all work there at different times?
I think there was a conspiracy to keep us all from working at the same time. Certainly when I worked there at the same time.
Fruit and veg, wasn't he?
Rob was fruit and veg, yeah. But there was
apples and pears.
I'll get them, love. Don't you worry about it. Oy.
They kind of they had me and Rob on for one shift, and yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not saying like we were like whoa crazy lads, but basically we just talked the whole time, and it wasn't that we didn't do our jobs, but I think at that age, you know, possibly still now, you know, we were very irritating to be around because most people who go to work at a supermarket just want to get on with their job. They don't want to hear two jumped up 17-year-old Burks gotta go crazy, you know, trying to make each other laugh, and you know, basically you think you're quite funny at 17, but you're not. And so I think there was you know, we were like, God, it's so unfair. They're, you know, keeping us apart. But looking back on it now, if I was working at that supermarket and 17-year-old Webby and Rob turned up, I'd be like, fuck that shit. Shut that down.
But what I will say is this: whilst the Summerfield management tried to keep Dan on trolleys, me on produce, you on produce on a different day, and Rob on fruit and veg, gradually promoting him to the tills, what they've unwittingly done is created a super group of highly skilled individual workers who could form our own supermarket together.
Let's do it. Let's go back.
It's some leadership from Christian and Dave.
Yeah, that's a shame. Poundland, yeah.
Let's take it over. Let's go back.
Let's go back. Relive the glory years. You know, like everyone's always trying to, you know, relive their kind of the golden years of their youth. Let's do that, but like just not the good bits. Like, you know, like, we used to go to work and then go out to all the great parties. It's like,
just do the
yeah,
trolleys.
let's just go back to the trolleys.
Well, I can do our A-levels again.
Yeah.
Or some of us for the first times.
Yeah. I could look up Mr. Wilson and ask, you know, if he's still alive, would he mind kind of sending me out of the room occasionally for being, in his words, a jumped up little arrogant gutter snipe.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's got you pegged there, Jay.
I know. Yeah, bang to rights.
Is that the guy who looked like a sort of prehistoric man?
No.
What's that guy called?
Steggles, yeah.
No, what's the guy called? He was the science teacher. Who looked like he.
That's him, isn't it? Well, we used to call him Caveman Clive, but I don't remember what his surname was.
Oh, doesn't he live near? Isn't he friends with your family?
Who are you talking to?
You're talking about the guy who went to Joe's wedding, Mr. What's his name?
Harding.
No, not Mr. Harding. Mr.
Wilmot?
This is Mr. Wilmot. Yeah, Mr. Wilmot.
Good.
Is that not the guy who looked like a caveman? He was like an old.
Yeah, he's hairy.
Yeah, he was hairy. Yeah, but that's not the guy I'm talking about. Mr. Wilson. I mean, it's all gold. It's all gold. I mean, the viewers want to know.
We are
which teacher that I've never heard of are you specifically?
Let's just drill down.
This should bring us on to our next topic that was on the thread.
Yeah.
Joe's gone. I'm not taking it anymore.
I'm out.
He's literally had enough. Which is, what's the coolest thing that anybody's ever said to you or that you've ever heard? And I feel like school is a time when cool things get like repeated and crystallized and happen over and over. And also there's so much interaction, which you don't get in this modern world we're in now. You know, when's anybody going to say a cool thing to you? On MSN Messenger, it's not going to happen, mate. You're not going to meet anybody. You're not going to have anything cool said to you. But at school, I feel like that happened. So Dan, what was the coolest thing that ever
I've got one that I know is setting up for ribbing for the rest of Slapback forever.
Brilliant.
I'm gonna say it anyway, but I'm just letting you know that I know I'm just off. I'm laying my tummy up and letting you all, I'm just telling you the truth. I'm just telling you the truth. I was having sex with somebody, and they said to me,
Wait. A bit more.
Wait a minute.
No, I think this is pretty good, actually.
I was having sex with somebody, and they sort of give me a funny look, and I went, what is it? And they went, I just can't believe I'm having sex with Dan Reed, and I went,
seriously.
Wait, can I just clarify? When they said that, was the tone sort of disgusting, angry, and like, I can't believe I'm disappointed.
Humiliated, desperate.
I'm having sex. I'm such a Dan Reed. Me, Lydia. I don't know who it was.
Yeah. Oh, I can only dream about that.
Rebecca Frogswallop. Was it that, or was the other intonation of?
It was exactly as I said it. It was
100% genuine.
100% genuine. And I said to her at the time, I was like, I'll sign whatever you want. At the end, we can chat about it, whatever.
We can chat about it. We can have a debrief.
Yeah.
Punditry.
Yeah, that was it. That was like either the weirdest, saddest, or coolest thing. I'm not sure which.
This is like one of your Company B fans.
Moment in anyone's.
It wasn't a Company B thing, Christian. This is before Company B. I was just normal me. Just classic me.
Dan Reed.
Does Joe know this?
No, well, we can't tell Joe now when he's.
Or was it Joe?
It was Joe.
What? He absolutely is. Don't tell him.
He loves it. Right, don't tell Joe.
He will. He'll do it. He will.
He'll do it. Yeah, he loves it. Right. So, what's the coolest thing that's ever been said to you, Joe?
Yeah, I was thinking about this earlier. I can't think of anything. Basically, I have nothing to add to this. I can't think of
all the conversations that we've had.
I was saying that people, nobody says anything to you these days. Not you specifically, anyone, because
It's a bit mean.
People don't talk. It's all tweet. They might tweet you something aggressive or tweet you something funny. But for somebody in conversation, you're walking down the street and somebody gives you a real zinger one-liner. That only happened really in the 90s, 2000s. And like when we were at school, that was a great time of interaction and opportunity. And Dan backed up something that happened to him.
Oh, it was good. Good story. Cracking story. It'll never come back to haunt me.
Never be repeated, but yeah, unless you
it'll never come back to haunt me. What I said, so it's fine. It's all good.
I genuinely don't think anyone's ever said anything cool to me.
I've got one, but Dave, I'm interested to hear if you've got one.
Well, it wasn't at school, and it wasn't really actually what someone said. It was more what they did. I was driving out back to my house in Cardiff, and it's two-lane street, but there's a little kind of narrow section, kind of priority to oncoming vehicles bit. And I had priority, but equidistant to this junction, and I was going to go through, and I could see that this car wasn't going to stop, and they were just going to come right through. Didn't have priority, and I was just going mental in the car. I was like, like this, all these hand gestures. Anyway, as they got closer, it was this little old dear in their car. She could barely see over the steering wheel. So this is the steering wheel in front of her face like this. And all I saw was... It was absolutely special. Fair play to her.
Brilliant.
Oh, I had the cool... Okay, look, I'm going to rescind my one, right? The coolest thing that I've ever heard anyone say about me was Christian's daughter the other day whispered to my girlfriend.
I was thinking of children, yes.
She went, come here, I've got a secret. And so Beth comes over and she whispers in, she goes, Dan's disgusting.
A good judge of character.
Yeah, she's nailed. She's nailed.
You're Dan.
Did Beth say that's not a secret?
Not a secret. That's just, we all know that's legit.
No, I was thinking children would be a goldmine for this, but then when I was thinking of things that Robin said to me, and all that happens is I go into her in the morning to say good morning, and she just sees me and goes, no. She wants
Not good morning.
First thing, just no,
Not yet.
no. So it's not cool. But here's an interaction, which again, the actual thing that was said is going to sound like a letdown, and disappointing, and not the coolest thing. But at the time, it was very cool to me. Now, I think coolness and sexiness are two sides of the same coin. Dan, are you right?
Preach.
At the time, I was in Los Angeles, and I had not spoken to anybody for about 24 hours because I was there by myself, having done some work. And I was walking along the beach side, and there was a lady there, a sort of formidable-looking lady, wearing a bikini and sitting by this sort of cafe area. And I was sitting near, and I was sort of, I was interested by this person, and thought I need to interact in some way. So I went up to her and I said, "Oh, can I take this chair?" Or something to that effect. And her reaction was just two words, which is not something I think anybody would say in this country, but they do say in America. Now I see it all in TV programs. She just said very, very casually, "Go ahead." And that to me.
You're right. That is disappointing.
Wow.
How did she think of that? Did she have a script right?
Because what you need to do is watch.
Go ahead. Brilliant. It's just
America.
off the top of her head as well.
Watch English programs and watch American programs, and if you ever see an English person say, do not say "go ahead." There's not a colloquialism we have in this country. It would be much more like
Go for it.
You may not.
You say go for
exactly, or it would be a bit more inward. It'd be like, "Oh, that's okay, yeah, go for it." But there's something about that, and you see it in films a lot. Just go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I just think it's a very cool thing to say. Sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead. So I've started incorporating in my life.
Could be like a Nike commercial, couldn't it?
Go ahead.
Or even like a bikini, like a Dolce and Gabbana. Go ahead.
I've got one. This was probably
Dave. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, Russell. It does work, doesn't it? It does sing. This was probably when I peaked in my life in terms of coolness. I was in St Ives for New Year's Eve, and if anybody hasn't been to St Ives on New Year's, I highly recommend it. The entire town, everyone gets dressed up. Fancy dress, phenomenal. And I was walking into a very, very crowded pub and pushing my way to the bar, and a very pretty lady who was in her fancy dress was coming the other way, and we kind of bumped into each other and kind of stopped, looked at each other, took each other in, and she said,
Vomited.
"Well,
I've been sick in my mouth.
I'm going to fuck you up for that."
She said that.
We'll cut that out.
Start again.
Sorry, Dave. Sorry.
So we bumped into each other, had a bit of a moment. Our eyes met, just looked at each other in our kind of fancy dress, and she went, "So what do you think I am?" And I just went, "Hot."
Nice.
So the coolest thing you've heard someone say is something you've said.
I was going to say that it can't be something you said.
It can't be something I've said.
Well, what was the reaction? What did they say?
The reaction was good. The reaction was,
She shoved her finger up your bubble. Classic night.
Bent over, spread eagle outside.
I'm gonna your bumhole.
Friend of mine who's Israeli. Do any of you know any Israeli people? Like, very, very well. Sorry to be quite general, but they're very direct.
Yeah.
And I can't remember where I was in a bar somewhere, Belize or something. And I saw her signal to someone, and she just caught eyes on someone. She's like Yemenis, Israeli, and she just summoned him over. She just went, "Come," like that. It's like, "You're mine," and she ended up, getting with him, and like they had this relationship for a while. But I just thought that was a great thing to do.
That's quite a power move, isn't it? I mean, you're really, it's a high risk strategy because it looks very good if it works, but if it doesn't, if you're the person who goes, "Come," and they're like, "Fuck off," they're like, "Yeah, no, okay. absolutely fair enough."
Not you, the other guy, yeah.
That's the point. It's not the words. It's more like the scenario, isn't it? It's how it's presented.
Yeah, she was really cool.
I was chatting to someone a weekend or two ago, and it turned out he played in a band which covered Beatles songs. Not exclusively Beatles songs, but like we were talking, that led on to like how good Paul McCartney's bass lines were because he was a bassist, and so you know what I'm like. If I can engineer the conversation to be about the Beatles / Paul McCartney, happy as a pig in shit. So I just, so I was getting right down in there, doing all Paul McCartney waffle, get toasting some nice Paul McCartney waffles, and I said at some point, like, but he seems like such a good guy. Like after all this fame, all these years, he seems like such a nice, down to earth guy. And he said, "Yeah, he is. I've met him twice." I was like, "You fucking what?"
Yeah, that's awesome.
Twice, Twice.
Yeah.
Been in his office, interviewed him, been in his office, seen him play live to 100 people. Met him twice. I mean, I was sick all over my shoes. I was just like, that's horrific.
How did you react to that? Did you go, oh, cool? Yeah, me too.
I'd actually not like to meet him because I kind of think that's a bit
big cliche.
That's a bit, yeah. I mean, yeah. Like if someone was going to offer me the chance to meet him, I'd say, no. How about I just listen to the music because that's what he's done, and I think less of
meeting them.
Yeah, I think less of you for having met him.
Yeah. Oh, that's a shame for you.
That's a shame for you and for him because he had to meet you.
He had to take time out of his day making music to chat to you, which actually makes him a worse artist.
Yeah, because, I mean, let's say you met him for, say, 10, 15 minutes on each occasion. I know for a fact he's written several songs in under 10 minutes. So that's potentially 2 classic songs that you've robbed the world of. Because you had to be Billy Big Bollocks and talk to Paul McCartney instead of letting him create classic music. Hi, you bastard.
Hi, Paul. I met you before. Can you fuck off?
I was just, obviously just wanted to know everything. And what did he smell like? Is he actually 5'11" as stated on the internet, or is he a bit taller, a bit shorter? Because there's a whole wormhole about Beatles height conspiracies and who really was the tallest Beatle.
Well,
who is indeed
a
alive?
hell of a conversation.
He left quite soon after actually, but probably unrelated.
He left on a high note, didn't he?
Yeah,
George.
Yeah,
he trumped you. Thank you. Good night.
That's a baller move, isn't it?
You could have said he met me. So he said it.
Yeah.
I met Paul.
Yeah. Paul McCartney
He's met me twice.
Yeah, Paul McCartney's met me a couple of times actually.
Take that.
Yeah, that's an even cooler thing to say. Yeah. I've never met any. I mean, Russell, you're you swim in the celebrity pond. But I've never. Oh, I've met Johnny Marr, but I've never really.
I don't think they say cool things though. I don't think you meet a celebrity and you go, "Wow, they said the coolest thing ever."
No, often the reason I've decided not to.
Too polite.
But also like when you, I kind of don't see the point So like when I've seen famous people at various things, and I thought, oh, I should go up and if there's someone I really like, I feel like there's that thought that like I should go up and tell them how much I like it or whatever they've done, But then I kind of think, oh, what's the best? What am I hoping for out of this? That they're going to be like, seriously, do you want to come to my?
I'm looking for a new guitarist right now. Do you play guitar?
Do you want to? I mean, I'm just thinking off the top of it. Do you want to jam for like ever?
I've met way too many people that I love, and very, very rarely is it like ever the scenario that you want. I met Tom York, and all I could say to him was I pointed at my T-shirt, which was an Atoms for Peace T-shirt, which was the band he's in. I was like, I saw you, and he was like, yeah.
Yeah, you and thousands of other people.
I don't care.
Yeah, there's very few positive interactions, is there, for either party? It's like, how does this end well?
Yeah.
I think you.
I like the thought of just pointing to the T-shirt. They would just be like, of the band he's in, like, huh? I know who you are.
Yeah.
It can't. Yeah.
I had the same thing because I had someone do it to me, and they went, "Are you from Company B?" And I was just like, "Yeah," and they were like, "Cool." And I was like, "Okay, what do we? What? I don't even know what to do in that situation. What do people want from you?"
Yeah, we should just say, "What are you from? What's your deal?"
My mum. Yeah, it's weird.
Well, at least you've had that, Dan. I mean, that puts you on a kind of minor celebrity status. No one ever came up to me and said, "Hey, are you that guy from El Majestico?"
I have said that to you so many times. I start every Skype call with this. Oh my god.
I've had a celebrity deny that they're the celebrity, which was quite funny.
Who was that?
Do you remember Kathy Lloyd? She was like this. I don't know. Was she like a model or something?
She like a bit of an FHM girl.
Yeah. So Noah used to have a poster of her on his wall, and I remember seeing her in Lanzarote, and I went up to her and, "Are you Kathy Lloyd?" And she was like, "No." She just completely denied it. I was like, "No, you are. My friend's got a poster of you on his wall," and she's like, "Oh, okay."
That's when it gets awkward, when you start telling them that they are who they're denying they are.
Like, I remember, what's the guy from? There's a couple of people from. What's the thing that's like Jackass, but it's from Wales?
Dirty Sanchez.
Dirty Sanchez. One of the guys from Dirty Sanchez was at
Pancho,
maybe.
Well, one of the guys is actually from this guard, isn't he?
Or they were
the English guy.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but yeah, he is.
There's a guy called, I think he's called Pancho, one of them, and my friend Martin Axford went up to him at Leo and went, Are you Pancho from Dirty Sanchez? And he went, "No." And it was just like, you are. You blatantly are. And at that point you're like, okay, okay. What? That's such a great answer, like, no, I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, well, you're faced with two options, aren't you? No. either just accept the answer or
like,
do the kind of completely bizarre thing of going to someone like who's just denied that they are someone, like, yeah, you are. And it's if you think about it, that's such a weird interaction to be in, where you're like, usually you have the right to say who you are or not. So like someone being like, nah, I don't, nah, no, I don't. Come on.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It is strange. I saw the chick from Space, Jessica
Hines.
Yeah, Jessica Hines. I saw her at Port Elliot, and we were standing in the toilet queues together, and I was about two people behind her, and I clocked her. She clocked me, and I clocked her going into the toilet, and then she sort of like she was like going in. I was sort of going. And then she sort of looked at me and like went into the bottle. She sort of went, and then got into the bottle. And I was just like,
Did she stay in there a very long time?
well, I don't know. I think I was like next It was
You
like-
left out.
Did you wait extra long so that till one of the ones either side of her freed up so that you could just be like,
Start chatting to her.
are you Jessica Heinzman spaced?
Yeah.
through the
No,
little.
no, like,
Where's Colin? Yeah. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? It's funny when you see people, famous people. I don't really know. I just feel like I want to say hello to them. Like,
well, there's that imbalance, isn't there, where like you have.
you love what they've done, and then
Yeah,
it's like,
you either watch lots of them and feel like they're really funny and like, oh yeah, we've probably got a very similar sense of humour. They're fun.
get on great.
They're really funny. I like watching them be funny. So presumably I'm on that level of funniness. And then you like meet them and like, yeah, I have nothing for you. Yeah. I think you're funny. I, however, am I'm very limited.
Yeah, it's really difficult, isn't it?
But when you love something someone's done so much, like it's a very like when people make small talk, generally, you start from a place of kind of some kind of mutual shared territory, like whatever it is, like about the weather or something like that. But when someone comes in so high, like, I love you, and I love what you've done, and you've saved my life, and also
That's
I've
quite
cried.
a lot of pressure, isn't it?
Yeah, like, what can you do but be like, thanks, that's great. It's not gonna end in like, cool, let's move in together. Yeah, what's your number? I'd love to continue this conversation.
This has been great.
Yeah.
I remember meeting Jamie Crow from Root Juice the same day that I was supposed to be meeting this chick. This is another story from Leo. I bumped into Jamie Crow from Root Juice, and I was like, "Oh my god, Jamie Crow from Root Juice!" And then the girl,
And he was like, no.
fuck off. And the girl, and I was chatting to him, and the girl I'd been trying to meet up to like hook up with was there, and she just turned up, and I went, "I'm so sorry, I can't talk to you right now. I've got Jamie Crow from fucking Root Juice here. This is like my hero." And yeah, I just mugged her off just to chat with Jamie Crow. That's fucking worth it. I do it every day, all day.
But it turned out he was Pancho from Dirty Sanchez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not every day you catch a Root Juice in the wild, is it? You've got to.
It was good. It was very good. Very exciting. Very exciting to my little mind.
I would genuinely, like, of all the celebrities there are, I would genuinely quite like to have a conversation with. I think like one of the former members of Root Juice, apart from the drummer Fez, would be like quite high up there for me. I would quite like to ask them about their glory days, get their reminiscences. What happened?
What
Like,
happened? Guys,
what-
come on, what happened?
guys, why was your music not that great? Why did you do that?
Go through the album track by track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is Neil Kapai?
Yeah. Why did you write that song? Blah blah blah. No. Why did you do it? For God's sake, man. Why?
I had the same. You remember when we went to see Ed Harcourt and we were singing everything, and then he looked at us specifically and went, "What's the words to this?" And we'd sat, me and Joe, been right at the front of the crowd, singing all the songs, blah blah, right in his face. And then he turns to me and Joe and he's like, "What's the next lyric?" Because he'd forgotten, and we went,
We just absolutely dried up. Yeah.
"No!" He did that to me.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie Crow from Root Juice did that to me at the gig, and I went, fail.
So you've had that twice.
I've had that twice, and and both I should have known. I should have known the words, and I.
You should have for Jamie Crow. You should have just
Neil Kapai.
Neil Kapai. You just had a go. Is it?
Is it anything to do with Neil Kapai? Might be.
I did meet Ed Harcourt once, actually.
Nice.
But it was, just totally boring conversation.
Really?
About
Latitude Festival. Because he was performing. It was like they do these gigs where they get some of the people from Latitude, and a few months in advance of the festival they put them on somewhere in London, and it's like a sort of press night or something. I don't know what it is, still on purposes. But he was at that, and then I spoke to him.
Nice.
So it wasn't worth.
I'd love
Could
to
have
meet Ed
not. It
Harcourt.
would
Yeah.
have changed my life, to be honest.
I think we spoke to him, didn't we? After the gig, did me and you go and speak to him, Joe?
I don't recall that.
I feel like I probably would have done. If there was an opportunity to have done it, I probably would have done it. And I think probably the end of that conversation is like, I love you. Oh my God, I love your music. Oh my God. And I just like, yeah, there's nothing.
John and McCleary.
Yeah, John and McCleary. That was a good one, wasn't it?
Stalking him and got the gash.
Got the
I think
gush.
what we've learned is the coolest things are situations, not famous people.
Yes.
Put yourself in an interesting situation, then cool things will happen.
And then hope a famous person comes along.
Fingers crossed. Just.
I think the best thing to say to someone who's like a prolific singer-songwriter is to be like, oh, I love you so much. Oh, you are my. I can't tell you how much I love your first album.
Yeah, your first album is.
It means so much to me. I've listened to your first album so many times.
I had that with Dom from Dom from Reef. I saw Dom from Reef at Cooperage, and he was playing with Cub, which was the band that Harry Collier played in. And I went up to him at the gig, and I went, "Oh my God, I love Replenish. I love Glow. What happened on Rides?" And he went, "Rides is all right." I went,
Is it?
"Is it?"
Really?
Oh, honey.
The record buying public agree with me.
I mean,
Did he actually say Rides is all right?
yeah, he said Rides is all right.
It is all right. I quite like it.
Yeah. It's just not Glow or Replenish, though, is it? So, there we go. What have we learnt after this day's slapback?
What have we learned?
What have we learnt?
That's a good question. Well, I think
Very
we've
good question.
completely briefed Russ for his best man speech. I think he should be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Joe can't fly.
I can't fly. Yeah, some killer do's and don'ts for
Argue
Russ's
with the
best man
celebrities if
speech.
they deny the celebrities.
Yeah, I think you've got to stand your ground, even if you might be wrong, even if it's definitely not a celebrity. You should
You
still.
are Kathy Lloyd.
If you've got a free house and your parents are away, don't tell Dan Reed because he's going to break it.
Yeah.
He'll break into it.
Actually, what's happening with your folks this weekend, Joe?
Are
they out of town?
They are actually out of town. They're seeing my brother. Sweet.
Right, I'll get on the WhatsApp. Party at Joe's.
Just make sure to leave all of your drugs on the living room table. The thing is, what would be extra funny about that is, like, you know, when you do that back in the day, the parents would be like to their son or daughter, like, what have you been doing? You know, whereas now my parents had just arrived back. I've left home many years ago and just like, yeah, we just got home and someone had broken in and left a load of drugs on the table.
They just delivered them. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
funny,
could-
isn't it?
They'd probably be fine with you asking for them back now. I think
Yeah.
they'd be chilled out about it.
Not the first time.
Not so much about the house breaking in, I reckon, but the drugs would probably be all right. I think we've learned some pretty important lessons there.
That's a good slapback then. Well, let's wrap it up. Thank you so much to our guest, Christian.
Thank you very much for having me.
Mr. Garnett, Mr. White, and Mr. Butterball. And this has been Slapback Chat Frat. We'll see you again.
Bye.
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 Bye. Slapback Chat